have
Meet
to get
me at
that close.
midnights.
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 Midnight. In case you couldn't tell, we're gonna talk about Midnights by Taylor Swift. And I can't believe this is her 10th studio album, Andrea. Can you believe that?
I can.
Well, you can. You've been following Taylor Swift from like literally the beginning. So like, of course,
Tim
you're like,
McGraw.
that's
Mhm.
right. It's so
Mhm.
wild, like thinking about the difference, just like her whole, like to the start, from the start to where she is now. Like, you know, no one's had a career like Taylor Swift. It's wild.
No one. I've tried.
I've tried. Many have tried and not succeeded. But, you know, she's Taylor Swift. She's in her own lane. And I think like one of the things with this album that I like noticed right away is that she's always good at like taking something, whether it's like a commercial pop sound or whether it's like a little bit more underground indie. She's always good at making it her own. You know what I mean? Like you can give her literally the spoons and she would make it like,
Eat.
she would make it like a Taylor Swift staple, you know?
Yeah. Well, this is what we were talking about at work the other day, is how this album is pop. Yeah, it's pop.
Yeah.
But it's not like mainstream pop. Like, I'm a big Bleachers fan, which is Jack Antonoff's band.
Yeah.
And Jack Antonoff produced the majority of this album. And I hear a lot of Bleachers in this album, and I love that.
That's fair, because like when you think about it too, this is her first like full like studio album since Evermore and Folklore. Like she did some re-releases in between, so it's like this is the first time in like, you know, a year or two that we're getting like an actual like Taylor album.
Well, even longer. Like she said on Jimmy Fallon, she's like, I haven't done an
autobiographical.
Yeah, that was hard for me to say.
That's what she was saying. Yeah.
Album since Lover. So it's been some time.
Yeah. So I think
4
like
years.
And that's like really something evident in this album too. Like I think a few of the songs too, like we can dive right in, because as soon as you said that, like I have the notes on my phone just of like all the songs I've highlighted, because when you really, because I think this is an album too, like arguably Taylor Swift is like one of the best songwriters of her generation, if not the best songwriter of her
I think
generation.
she's the best. I think unbiasedly, I know, I really think no one else has really done it like her.
No, that's true. Yeah, she is arguably the best. And like some of these songs, when you really like get into the nitty gritty of what she's saying, it creates a whole different picture. And like that topic we're saying of like it being autobiographical, I think the one song that really is like the best example of that is Would've, Could've, Should've. And that's my take. I don't know how you feel, but
that one hits you where it hurts.
Yeah, because she's talking about like, you know, there's one line, I don't know if I wrote it down, like something about like, oh, I want my girlhood back or something like that.
Give me back my girlhood. It was mine first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know who they speculate that's about?
No, who? I was curious if there was someone in like question, I should say.
Yeah, John Mayer.
Really?
Yeah. That's what the Swift talk is saying.
Is that why? I think I saw memes where people were like, you know, Jake Gyllenhaal's happy this album isn't about him.
Well, also my friend Rachel has a big theory that Maroon is about Jake Gyllenhaal and Taylor reflecting on the album Red. And in it, she lists all the colors around the color red, but not red.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, because like she says scarlet, and like scarlet was the color that she references of the scarf, right? I want to say, and All Too Well.
The scarf is red. Yeah.
Okay, right. Yeah. You know, tomato.
The real scarf wasn't red, just for clarification.
Yes. But yeah, like I was curious about that too, because like we're saying, this is an autobiographical album from Taylor. So it's like, how many things is she referring to, and how many things are like kind of sneakily she's referring to, and how many things are like outwardly? I feel like she's funny. Not like being super outwardly, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of who she is now. She like drops hints and stuff. But it was funny was announced because for those who don't know, Taylor Swift is in the process of re-releasing her 6 studio albums, the first 6, because she does not own them. And every time she re-releases them, she gains ownership of that album. So always stream Taylor's version. But when she has been re-releasing these albums, she also releases like a chunk of songs called vault tracks, which are songs that just didn't make the album originally when she released it. And fans love that because you get to hear songs that she wrote, you know, when she was 18 that just never made it on the album she released when she was 18. And it's so fun. So when she released Midnights, she announced Midnights, I was like, oh my gosh, are these vault songs that she just like didn't have anywhere to put that she's putting on Midnights? And that is not the case. She has clarified that she's written these songs recently about 13 sleepless nights in her life. So I think, you know, we were talking about John Mayer, like I think that's her reflecting on like that experience and like writing a song about it so many years later. Or like Maroon, how we were talking about Jake Gyllenhaal, like maybe these are all like theories, but you know, it's very I love the concept of just like not being able to sleep, and like these are things in my life that keep me up at night that I still struggle with, even though they're from the past. So I thought that was interesting that they weren't vault tracks.
Yeah, and I think too, she said something about, or Jimmy Fallon asked her in that interview too, that she referenced, you know, does she just like wake up and start like recording voice memos? Because I mean, like, I feel like that's the best way to really capture what it is you're thinking and feeling at that moment. If you're just like, oh my God, I need to like put this down somewhere. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm feeling right now. But she said, I think you're right. Like she kind of wrote it recently, but it seems like over like a I want to say a span of time, not sure like how long or how short, but it's like, you know, the album, when you do listen to it holistically, it is like night music. Like it very much is, you dim the lights, you sit in your bedroom and you stare at the ceiling. Yeah. It totally, or like it's been really gloomy the past couple days, and like driving around at night in the rain to these, that's good. Maybe she planned it that way. Maybe she like pulled some chords. She actually like has Mother Nature's phone number and like called her up. Exactly. It's like, Taylor wants us to listen to this in moody weather, and it's moody weather outside. Yeah. Coincidence. Exactly. Literally. I like to like, so she talked about how creating this album was like, I love this quote, sucking like the poison out of a snake bite. That really hits hard, you know, like we've already said, she's so good with songwriting and words. And like, I think that's such a good way to like encapsulate what an album could mean for someone. Yeah. And that's also definitely a nod to Reputation, which is another album we're waiting to be re-released. The snakes were like the theme of that album, and that was definitely an Easter egg. Yeah, no, I think so. Wow, you think that was an Easter egg just by her saying that? Yeah. I think that was her being like, it's coming. It's coming, yeah. So. Well, I think there was a slight Easter egg in the Bejeweled music video. Slight? Oh my God. Do you want to explain it? I was having a headache watching that. I was like, there's so many. Yeah, why don't you explain? Are you thinking of the elevator button one? Oh my, yeah, there's so many. Okay. There's the elevator. So Taylor Swift obviously likes to drop Easter eggs. She released the music video Bejeweled on Tuesday, and in it, the stepmother is like, speak not, when the album is Speak Now. And she's like telling Cinderella to not speak. And then there's this point where Taylor Swift gets in an elevator, and there's like all the floors lined up on the elevator, and it's 1 through 13. And fans like really do assign colors to albums, and Speak Now, which is another one we're waiting to be re-released, also my favorite, is purple. And she like hits the purple 3, which Speak Now is the 3rd album to be re-released, in the elevator. And if you look, number 13, which would be including her studio albums and her re-releases, would be her 13th album. Yep.
is also purple, which hints that Speak Now, Taylor's version, is next.
I think that's pretty clear, like you said.
Yeah. And it's just there was other like little things like the shape of the dancers laying on the floor looks like the CD Speak Now. So I don't know. Yeah, she has me like running for the hills. She really does.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, can I tell you my thing? You can cut this out. You don't have to keep it in it if you want.
No,
I think it's funny.
What is it?
Okay, so when I first listened to Bejeweled, I was like, this is my song. Like Taylor Swift broke into my house, stole my diary, and wrote this song about my life. Like, that's literally what I thought. And then I do a birthday music video every year for my birthday. David's been in it before. And I said to my friends this weekend, I was like, I want to do Bejeweled for my birthday. Like, it's obviously not going to be the music video she releases on Tuesday, but like, ideally she releases one before my birthday so we can recreate it for my birthday. That's the one she released on Tuesday.
That's so wild.
Then buckle up, it gets wilder. So then we're watching the Bejeweled music video and she's hinting at Speak Now, which is my favorite album. And then it gets wilder because she's holding the little locket, and on the locket the hands are on the 12 and there's a 2 on it. So fans are speculating that Speak Now Taylor's version might come out on December 2nd.
Yes.
Which is the Friday after my birthday.
Right, exactly. It's just all these things are...
I think she's stalking me. I think Taylor Swift is stalking.
She's planning her life around yours, it seems.
She's like, that Andrea girl really needs some help.
She's like, I think she's bought one too many of my albums at Target.
I have it here. And if you're wondering why it's out, because I carry this around with me to read the lyrics.
Andrew Nastry, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I like keep it in my car. I like really do bring it around with me. So
well, even like, you know, on the topic of Bejeweled, the songwriting too in that song, like that was what really caught me too, like saying still making the whole place shimmer. Just it's so clever and it's so interesting because like I can tell this was an album that she didn't, and I mean she kind of hasn't done this in a while either. I feel she didn't engineer this album for being like a chart topper or having like multiple top singles. Like she, like I said earlier, she's Taylor Swift. She can do anything and she'll be successful. So it's like now she's just making music to make music. But like Bejeweled is a song I could picture being like, you know, her next single. And I mean, if she has the music video out, it's another reason. That and Anti-Hero, which is like going viral on TikTok, and she has a music video for that one. So it's like those are like really the only two songs I see being like singles, you know what I mean?
And there's another music video coming.
Has she said like which one, or is it going to be like under wraps?
Nope. So before the album was released, she did like a thing where I had to watch football to see this.
Of course.
Like a trailer.
Sacrifice.
Yeah, I know. She did a trailer of the Midnight's music videos, and it showed like clips from the music videos that she was going to release. And we thought it was just the two, but there's clips from it that aren't in Anti-Hero or Bejeweled. So if I had to guess, it looks like Lavender Haze. Like it's very lavender. So we'll see. I don't know.
It's funny you mentioned that because before this, I wrote down in order which songs. I mean, this can be a little subjective, but I wrote down in order like which songs on Spotify have the most streams.
Let's hear it.
The most is Anti-Hero. Like,
yeah.
No really surprise there. And the second is Lavender Haze, which is also
really,
yeah, which is, I mean, it's also the first
maybe because
song
the first
album. Yeah. But like I like that song. I think it's a cool like concept of kind of like entering into this, you know, as she says, Lavender Haze, like entering into this little area that's kind of your own, that you're like navigating, trying to figure it out. You know, it sounds like it's like an what's the word I want to, like a synonym for like your thoughts, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that could be a really cool music video if that's the route she's going down.
I do too. And I really think that's about her and her boyfriend Joe. And actually she said that on her Instagram reel, that it's about their relationship. So we love that. We love that for her.
That's a good, I do like that song. And then actually the next one, which I feel like is very interesting because I've heard people either like this one or hate this one.
Oh gosh.
The
Okay.
third most streamed
I know
right
what it is.
now.
Wait, can I guess?
Go for it.
Is it Karma?
No,
Okay, what is it?
it's Snow on the Beach.
Oh, okay.
Which like I think
That wouldn't be my third streamed, but
I think it's because of the Lana feature.
Yeah.
I think that's why.
People are
I
curious.
personally, I kind of like that album. I mean that song because I think it fits, but I've heard other people say it's kind of boring. So what do you think?
I will die on this hill. Like everyone was so angry that Taylor didn't give Lana more time to sing on the album, but
Right.
my argument is I do not think that song would be half as good if Lana wasn't on it. Like to me, Lana adds so much to Snow on the Beach.
Even if it is a small part, like we said, you know, I can kind of see that.
Yeah.
I can see both where I think, yeah, maybe she could have had like maybe one extra verse. But that song, like, you know, it was like engineered to include Lana. And did you know that Dylan O'Brien plays like the drums?
The drums,
on that
yeah.
song?
He was like fooling around in the studio with Taylor and Jack, and they were like, "Oh, you want to play the drums?" Like,
Right.
okay.
And that's something else she talked about on Jimmy Fallon. She's like, I just like making music with my friends, and it just makes like the experience of making the music so much more wholesome. And it's like, well, duh. Like she's really like she's creating something she loves with people she loves.
Yeah. And that probably makes it so much more special than like collaborating with some random person.
Exactly. And then here, I'll go down the rest of the list here. So these ones are all still in the range of like 40 million as of like, you know, Wednesday, October 26th.
Just a casual 40 mil, you know?
You know? So after Snow on the Beach, it's Maroon, Midnight Rain, and You're on Your Own, Kid.
Wow.
Which
so that's just not mine.
It's weird, right? Like I think everybody has, I like Maroon more so for like, I guess like the concept. I don't love like the sound of it too much, but I like Midnight Rain. She also does like that fun like voice distortion thing, and I think sometimes people call it the Cher effect because you sound like Cher. In case you haven't heard that before.
Well, can we talk about that for a second?
About the voice, the Cher effect?
Yeah, because Rachel and I, our friend Rachel, have been talking about this a lot. That like voice that you hear throughout the album, it starts the album, and then you hear the voice throughout certain songs in the album, and then Rachel brought this up that during Dear Reader, which is one of my favorite songs in the album, at the end you hear like the voice, and then it fades to Taylor's voice, and then it fades back to that voice. And it was like Taylor the whole time, like as that like mysterious voice.
Ooh.
So I don't know.
Like it could be like an inner monologue in a way.
Yeah. Like I think it was like her kind of like talking to herself throughout the whole album almost.
That's really cool. That's trippy. That is something Rachel would catch on to.
I know. Well, she pointed that out, and then I was like, oh my God, it's the whole album is like this like internal monologue, like you said, like her trying to like figure like the answers out to her questions or whatever. So
yeah. And I mean like
art, it's so great.
I mean, that's such an interesting concept. Yeah, I love that. So then after like those couple, now we're in like the 30 million range. Still casual, 30 mil. So 7 is Vigilante Ship. Then it's Karma, then Question, and then Bejeweled, which rounds out the top 10.
Okay. That's on the bottom. Like, Mastermind's definitely in the bottom.
Yeah, and then the last two, this is just off the regular version, not the 3 a.m. extended. It's 11th is Labyrinth, and then 12 is Mastermind. Which I've heard a lot of people say they like Mastermind. I'm like neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But I feel like you like that one, right?
It's not like in my top.
Okay.
But I don't not like any of the songs, but it just doesn't really resonate with me. Labyrinth, this happened to me in The Archer. When The Archer came out off of Lover, I was like, I just can't get into it. I can't get into it. And like I kind of put it off to the side, and now I like love The Archer, and I feel like that's going to be me in Labyrinth and Mastermind.
Yeah.
So
well,
I think like just right now I like other ones more that I'm trying to learn the words to, you know.
Well, like I was saying earlier, like with Would've, Could've, Should've, I didn't really like that one initially, but then when I really got into it and like understood the lyrics, I was like, wait, this one has some depth. I kind of like this a little bit more. Same thing with Karma. Like I actually really liked, I would say like Anti-Hero, oh my God, what's the Bejeweled, duh. Bejeweled, Anti-Hero actually, and then Karma are like my three favorite.
Bejeweled, like, Anti-Hero, and what was the other one?
Karma would be like my top three, which like all kind of fall into the more like upbeat, like poppy vein that she has going on. But like Karma itself, like same thing. I'm looking at my note and like all the things she like references or compares with Karma. Like I like how she was like the cat, like licking.
Oh,
you know,
it's so cheesy, but it works so well.
I was like, of course she's gonna make a cat comment. She's crazy about her cats. You know, we all know this. But
she
it's
loves
like
her cats.
It's just another case of her being so clever, like with her songwriting. So now I'm like, okay, now I like that song even more.
I know. It's really good. And yeah, what's the rumor people are saying that Bigger Than the Whole Sky?
Oh, I don't know about that one. What's that one?
It's about a miscarriage.
Oh,
one of
really?
her close friends had a miscarriage recently, and I think people speculate that's what that's about. So but it's really interesting how like that song's kind of about grieving, so it can kind of be about anything.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
that one I wasn't really like too into. Another one though, because that one is that one's one of the 3 a.m. ones, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the other 3 a.m. tracks that I really got into too off the lyrics was High Infidelity.
Catchy.
Right. I thought it was like a really cool angle of presenting, you know, like a relationship kind of being on the rocks and like questioning if somebody's like cheating on you essentially.
Yeah.
But same thing, she's like this one
I was
line
dancing around. Was that the one?
Yeah. No, it was the one I think after that. Nice try. It was the one after that where it's like there's so many ways to kill the one you love and the slowest is not loving them enough. Like
yeah.
It's just so powerful.
No, it is. Who thinks of that?
Apparently Taylor Swift at like midnight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My top three would be Bejeweled. I love Dear Reader and Paris.
Ooh, yeah, that's a cute one too.
Paris. Why is no one talking about that?
My roommate likes Paris, actually. That's one of her favorites.
I'm so in love. It's the chorus. The chorus hooks me in. I'm like,
that one I could see too. Like if it was, because like the production on this album too, like we said, is a little bit more like indie and like underground. That one could easily be like mixed and you could turn it into like a banger.
Yeah.
Like it would pop off on the charts.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's find someone. Come on.
I want that playing at every Starbucks in the entire country.
I want it playing at like every clothing store. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
You're like shopping for sweaters. Like, yeah, Paris.
Yeah. So good.
It is a good one. Honestly, there's just so much to talk about with this album that I don't even know like how else to like incorporate it into the conversation. But I want to end with this. And this is on her Instagram. When the album dropped, she said, and this is the end of the hella long caption that she posted, Midnights is a collage of intensity, highs and lows, and ebbs and flows. Life can be dark, starry, cloudy, terrifying, electrifying, hot, cold, romantic, or lonely, just like Midnights, which is out now. It's just mic drop. I just don't know how else to describe it besides that. Coming from the horse's mouth herself, Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I think that really sums it up, because it is like an album that some songs like Paris you want to dance to, some songs you want to cry to. So like it's a good range of like everything you can feel at midnight.
And honestly, it's an album. If an album can make you feel all those things, I think the artist knows they've done their job. Yeah,
and me as a listener, that's why Speak Now is my favorite album of hers, because it has that range of just songs that make you feel so many things, and I think this is like that too. Which I think, not a lot of artists do as well,
But
so thanks,
what she does it well. She's doing it
And she
well.
makes a lot of money off of it.
Mhm. So if you haven't listened to Midnights yet by Taylor Swift, give it a listen. You'll definitely find some you like, some you don't, but overall, you're in for a ride. So Andrea,
or you can go to Target, buy
Yes.
the album, and hear the deluxe track. Hits different, which I can tell you, hits different.
Ooh, I like what you did there.
Get those hard copies.
Yeah, we need those hard copies in
Let's
our
break
lives.
those records.
She's already broken a couple, so I mean, she's like outdone herself time and time again with this one too. So
the most streamed album in a day.
In one day, I have the number 184.6 million in one day on Spotify.
And she broke that same record on Apple Music, which was all my hard work. So.
Obviously, Andrea and her clan of Taylor fans.
I'm glad to see it paid off.
Well, Andrea, thank you so much for coming on. I'm so glad we finally got to do a Taylor Swift review.
This was the easiest conversation I've ever had.
So glad I could do that for you. And I'm so glad we could make this work.
So go stream Midnights.